So, okay, as discussed yesterday, we have downloaded an application which someone have done, right, as a clone. Let us see what it is doing. They have written the code related to the customers and with the JSON files and displaying the details when a particular ID or something else we click on it. It has to open the full details about that particular customer right now. Okay, let us wait. We have done, after downloading, or else we can say, after having an application, a clone, we have to set up the required modules. So that can be done through npm space install. That's it. Meaning, okay, let it complete, or it will take time again. Okay, so defaultly they have loaded with a customer list. Let us open now the coding, what they have done. That is making something a sub URL as a main URL. Let us close first all these things and then open that index.js file. Here, as it is what we know, it is just connecting to the app component. So enter into the app. Once you enter into the app with the concept of a router, the base URL, which is environment public URL, and we are switching with which is used to switch to the particular a routing URL of home page that should be customer list. Defaultly, we will be writing just route path, the name of the, but here you are giving a path that home page that should load, that is render the customer list. So where is that customer list? In the customers, the component which we have connected. So enter into the customers. Here we have return the functionality of the details. Okay, let me open all the customers here. The add margin and as what you can see that styling at the same time loading of all the details where we can get the pay email address, mobile number, and ID, and of course a customer name, which is a panel. So name, email, mobile number, and click on view details. Click on view details. And defaultly they have loaded one customer, and that is defaultly they have given one customer ID. Then from that here they have given the selected customer one. That is why it is defaultly loading with the selected customer, and this selected customer one, the ID when you connected to the particular customer details. That is, this is a customer list, and from this you are connected to the customer details where it is in the customer details that particular ID. If it is matching, then that is here from the JSON with the given ID. If it is matching, we are able to load. That's why that is they have given a selected customer one, and that is matching here in the JSON files of customer JSON ID one. So, and that is just defaultly loading the page, John Smith and so on. When you click on second ID, that is, and then third ID. So a list of customers details, and when user clicks on particular ID, that just loading the details in the home page itself. They have given left panel and center. In left panel, listed out of all the list of items, listed out of all customers details, and defaultly given to load ID one. This is what they have done, and of course it's a nice application. Here you can get an idea how you can work with the customers. These are the default JSON details. When an ID which is matching to the particular ID of customer, then it is loading the details of that particular customer. So here you got it, you are having two things: how to work with the JSON files where user is clicking on a particular ID, that how you are passing means using at line number 29, which user is passing that ID in the JSON file. Exactly, if you observe customer ID 1, 2, for example, let us do one thing. Something like this, if you have done, then nothing else. Meaning the name of that file itself, the ID, customer, customer, and that ID that should match with the given number of .json file directly connecting. That is why we can say even a JSON files with its names also we can make it something an ID passing. So the name of that file is itself acting as an ID, and that connected to this place and loading the details in the response to your customer details. From that customer details, you are displaying, extracting each and every profile details. Okay, and coming to the point, okay, this is about the concept of how we can clone a sample application, and if you want to do changes you can change it here. It's a concept of related to customers and some other concept details. You can make it your own employee details or product details or anything. A number of customers, sorry, a number of JSON files, and product details. And according to the design, how you are expecting in displaying, then you can just display the page in which way that you want to display. Overall, we can say how you can clone a sample application from someone else who done, and we can just change according to our requirement. Then, and then next is we can say with the React Material UI 8, sorry, React Material UI app, we have discussed everything. Mm, let me open first. Here we have even, I mean, I have installed all the required packages, but especially at on change at the same time with the date and time picker modules, we are getting errors that I did not still rectify it. We'll just check it out, or else you can do the same way a clone also. Let us do one thing. Let me show you. Not only the same example what we have discussed, we can also finally the concept of material UI will be having typography, form grid, paper, and these are all the common attributes that how much space it has to be like this. So, for example, let us do one thing. React Material UI. For example, let us just see. These are all they have some sample examples, and let us go with sample Material UI example project. Even a buttons, even this kind of navigation and a table grid, not only form, we can also make it with all the bootstraps whatever we have, but bootstrap is a point of just we can say appearance purpose, but whereas a material UI is additionally having event handlers with form designs and form functionalities, everything. So these people are saying that, so do one thing. I'm just placing this link at your end. Please try. Even I will be using the same link. Let me, but not now. I'm saying later I will be, because we don't want to just clone a website. Already we got a clarity how to clone a website and add. So what you can do means yesterday, as we have done the same way today also, when you get time, download this one. Download this one means you just okay. For timing, I can do like this. Git space clone space that URL. First of all, it will just download what they have there, given the files and everything, and then we have to set an what you can say required modules. Yes, it is done, and then let us first open this. If you observe here, we have grid menu item form group, form radio button, sorry, radio group, everything na the same. What is that name? Create React app material. Then so we just connected to app, and here see, they have given simple only one example with the multi-theme provider, that is styling, and with form one text field only. We have done in all the points. Okay, then what are the modules they have done? They have given raised button text field, and it is additionally the theme of that material UI they have used additionally. So all these things in package.js, when we have material UI and React tab event plugin typeface. This is not a, I mean, this is a point of related to fonts. So only main thing is you can say material UI, and these are the default things. So when you here, sorry, you need to enter into the project folder, cd space, create React app, material UI, and then just npm space install. Okay, let it be going. I mean, let it go to of installation. In this meanwhile, okay, if it is taking too much time, let us wait for just 1 or 2 minutes. If it is taking more time, then we'll plan for writing of Mernocrut also. Overall concept we have discussed in all the places, how we can write our own code and install step by step, that is npm space install space and particular module. Or else if we are taking something, an application, a clone from somewhere else, then as they have already kept ready, you can just go with the npm space install, or simply you can say yarn space add, sorry, yarn space add. Okay, so let us wait. Once it is done, we can move to the concept of what we are discussing yesterday, with the concept of Mern application. After that, we have one concept, we can say Redux concept, how that Redux will work. Once after it is done, then we enter into the Angular point. Let us wait. Let us see this example. If it is working successfully, okay. If it is not working, I will let you know even how to get any other. But once let us complete because we no need to just confuse with all things at a time. That's why I'm waiting even. Let us complete this one. Yes, let us just check it out. Mm, npm space start. So in this code, what they have given, they have just given the theme with something a color and with something an input or a text field with button. So that's it. Let us first see once we get an output, then we can discuss. Right? They have given a sample. We are just entering, sorry, we are just skipping and click on submit button. It's just showing and saying a pop-up window. So this site says that you said, for example, you write something matter and then pop-up window. So let me just discuss here the theme. First of all, to work with the buttons and text field, we have given from the material UI a module, separate module, which is called raised button and text field. Additionally, with the concept of a pop-up multi-theme provider, and that should show something, they have even used the concept of a font family also and styles, text align center, padding from top 200, and that's why from top it's just displaying. And then coming to the point. Okay, first we multi-theme provider with multi-theme equals to something. For example, if we just remove this one, then same only. Of course, nothing has much change. So multi-theme. and multi-theme. It is one of the multi-theme. Here we have given get multi-theme palette and deep orange 500 that should apply to the accent color. Something, I mean, they might have written something wrong. That's why it is not applying, I guess. Let us just check it out. No problem. But the thing is, in place of orange, maybe the deep orange 500 is showing in the concept of a blue color. Yes, they have written that styling only for top, how much it should be, and center, but the coloring and everything is coming from the name of deep orange 500, and that is we are getting here styling. We have some input element which is written form, text field, and default, which they have given a text, state text. This is a statement we are getting. And when user clicks on submit button, whatever that is reference we have discussed, I think. Let me just show you. React reference. Okay. We have discussed in one of the example at image upload, not image upload. Okay, form validation. Okay, anyway, that I will explain the concept of reference. What is that reference means? User is typing something, clicking the button, and that is showing a pop-up window. When user clicks on OK button, where is that cursor blinking? The cursor is not blinking. When the cursor again blinks to input element obviously or defaultly, then we say that you are referring to the point of, we can say, input element. That I will explain next point. But let us now complete with this. And there is something small appearance change here. So these people have given ascent one color, and then it is now, and then it just showing that input element with the highlighting. When you place, select that one. So, and this button, when you come, the reference of cool text, which is getting from the input element dot value. So, when we have reference, this is what we can see. The meaning of this one is when user is typing in the input element, instead of taking an ID defaultly in JavaScript or even in some of our examples, we have given an ID right now. But with that ID, you will be taking or accepting any event handler. But here, in place of an ID, they have written a reference, the name, the T reference REFS is it's a keyword. It's a built-in reference to that given name taking from the input element of its value, and that is you're just assigning to one of the variable, and that is updating the text which alert message dynamically you are displaying. When button is click raised button, whatever we have the same we have written in the our example also, but as we have given too many things, a grid system, everything might be something uh, modules or something else error. So of course it's not a point of any coding error, but anyway you just have in the same way try the same way with any other examples also. Meaning what I say means when you are getting here Try with any of these examples also. Designing a panels, designing an admin panel, but directly don't go with this. Just make it first one by one. A navigation separately, or a boxes separately. Material UI dashboard, like this dashboards separately, and then form designs, buttons that like this. So once you are done with this, then you can just move to the admin panel, how you can create a material, sorry, how you can create admin panel with material UI. So you don't need to just write a code totally, just search in the Google and what they have given, copy this URL and git space clone space and that URL, and after cloning then enter into the project folder, then npm space install. Then, if it is successfully they have written the code, then we can just say we can see that output as what we are seeing here. Not only material UI, I'm saying irrespective whatever the application that you want to search, you do one thing. You even additionally see React.js sample applications, sample projects. Then you will get a number of or React.js date calculation, or as we can say uh, quantity uploading. Uploading a file already we have done. Quantity changing. Then like this. Okay. So now let us enter into the concept of our discussion what we are having yesterday. So we are done with the concept of material UI. Even I will upload the same code what we have even written at the same time you even try to do. So what you do at your end means we have discussed React Material UI. Okay, we have discussed. Let me open that particular file. Do one thing, instead of writing all the total statements at a time, import same form text field. Form is common, field is common, and from material use these things and just directly write first a typography or it's just a code how they have written, sir, how we have written, and just try to apply one by one. Whatever that error you are getting, it will ask the module is not could not resolve. That particular module could not be resolved. So just search in the Google that module and space npm space install space that module, install into your application. That will be resolved it. So same concept with one by one try, and then by finally you'll be getting clarity of all these things. How you can create a design everything from even then. Now coming to the point what we have or what we are discussing yesterday. Let us even let me open this one. Hmm. Yesterday we have done up to the point of error, and we are discussing about the concept of listening. And let us complete this this configuration file, and then we'll move ahead. Server dot address and then var bind, and that equals to type of addr, and that equals to string. If it is true, then that address, that is an IP address, or else we can say the port number localhost with port number. Then addr dot port number. Okay. Then after all these things, debug,
What is this port
listening.
command?
Sorry.
Will it still be the part of React, or do you like
We are in the
use a
React
separate
only. We are in the
technology?
React only. No, let me tell you. Actually, when you are working with the concept of only React, it is just a front end, or we can say a client side part it's executing. Now, with the concept of React, you are adding the feature of MongoDB with Node, a backend connectivity of MongoDB, and to set up that application configuration where a React that should run in the given port number, either this or 3000.
Basically, this is to establish the connection with the backend.
Exactly. Stand connecting whether your application is properly loading in a particular environment or not. First point. Second point, whether your application is working on a given port number 3000 or not. That we are checking with these conditions. Okay, and it of the concept when you work with the combination of MERN, I mean, we can say Node, Express, MongoDB with React. It's common. That's why. But actually, I am writing here. You can just copy and paste in your applications. Okay. Then it's almost completed. Then the listening on bind. So this is a statement that we can say a listening point. After all these settings, we are ready with error. We are checking that error in access, in privileges, or already this same address is presently using with another application like this error messages. After all these things, then go to your package.js.file in place of okay here start with in React scripts in place of React scripts, node space, enter into that folder and setting. That is, as soon as your application starts, when you type npm start, it just first check it out that connection is properly set for your application or not. Later, you can do further statements. Then, additionally, we can say, mm, okay, as discussed here, the statements, I mean, the steps yesterday, we have to install npm space install space save express body parser all these things right now. That is already I have done yesterday itself after completing of our session. Mongoose, express, and react serve icon, sorry, serve fabric icon like this, so we can just move ahead. Now close this one package.json file, and we even completed the config setting, or we can say environment checking with your application. After writing, that is creating a file and write a code to set environment, and then in the root folder itself create app.js file. How can you create app.js file? say touch, then app.js file. Here we are going to set all the required modules. First, let us write var express and that equals to require of path. Then var fav icon and that equals to require of that module what we have done. Additionally, var logger and that equals to require of Morgan, and then var body parser and that equals to require of body hyphen parser. So Express use it to work with the middleware, URL building, routing, at same time template engine. These are the 4 points. And when you are working with an application that user have to move from one page to another page, that's why we just set here path. And it is just a point of SR5 icon, which is nothing but here an icon. It's your wish that whether you will be using or not. And then any steps when you are doing an action or user is doing an action, then we need to get an status. We can say that called logger information, in which state we are or what are the action that is going to do. Then body parser is a point of linking to the forms where user is entering the data that has to be posted to database, or when user is clicking to see that particular details into the that from the database, it has to connect to what you can say response. As a response, it has to connect to your forms from the database. So passing a data between the what you can say forms and database, we just use a body parser module. And to work with the concept of a database, as already we have even installed Mongoose as a library, and Bluebird is a submodule of Mongoose, which is just saying that a promise that is connected to the MongoDB. Okay, just hold on for a second, please. Right. So now let us write about the concept of database. So when you are working with the concept of database, and that should be first started, I mean, we need to set up that environment. Already we have set up an environment of MongoDB, and we just have to start it. Okay, for timing, I am just writing that statement. Let us write were mongoose, and that equals to require of mongoose. With this library, that is mongoose dot, using a attribute which is a promise that you are even loading a concept of a require of bluebird, bluebird, and this module is just giving a connectivity from the library to your MongoDB. And then once you are done, mongoose dot, as we have discussed, connect connect of MongoDB colon two forward slashes localhost, and we need to create a database right now. So let me create here Mernkrud app. Let it be something, and that should be use Mongo client. One second, hold on, please. I'm getting a call. Right. Let me write here. Use Mongo client. True. Additionally, it should be with the promise library colon require of bluebird. So once you are done, you have to say that statement. Yes, you have successfully connected. Right now, that statement we will write. Additionally, the first thing, loading of all the required modules. Second thing, about the MongoDB. Third thing, about the Express. And we have even discussed the concept of setting a view engine and public, static, all these things also that we have to write that further points. After all these things, then we need to enter into our concept, whatever that is. Maybe a product dealing means product manipulation of adding a new product, sending a request to add a new product, and getting a what you can say a require product. As we have seen in the previous example of customers list, the same way here we also going to add some additional functionality where we can add, we can see, we can update, we can remove the items that we are going to discuss. Okay, and for today, I have some other meeting at this moment. I mean, so we are just stopping. So please don't mind, and we'll work with the rest of the points in tomorrow's session. Okay. And so approximately by the end of this week to the maximum, we can expect the closing of React.js. But once the React.js completes, then Angular won't take too much. At the same time, you please practice. If you have any queries or something, please let me know. We'll discuss in this meanwhile. I mean, not only today, I'm saying, not only the previous sessions also. Okay.
And can you give one example of application which we can start building, like any
Sure,
suggestion?
sure. Let us complete this one, and I will let you know for sure. According to, I mean, what I can say, how you can create your own application. I will let you know how you can practice. Also, I will let you know. I mean, to practice something an application, I will give assignment. Okay.
Okay.
Right then. Right then. Thank you and bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.